If, as I have, you've ever found yourself wondering why you can't move forward, even when on the face of it you're doing everything right, this might be for you. What I'd like to offer you is 4 fixes which can be applied today should you find yourself stuck in a rut. So let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to recommend is you stop sugarcoating your own sense of entitlement. Nobody cares. Nobody owes you. And what do I mean about sugarcoating your sense of entitlement? What I mean by that is that when you feel like you're owed a result because you're doing all the right things, what you're doing is engaging in a sugar-coated form of self-entitlement. You need to become more patient. A large part of what we're going to discuss today is about how to recalibrate your expectations. Not to lower your expectations, but in fact, to finesse them. So some of the things that we need to overcome in order to do that include getting out of a let's go viral mentality. Stop treating your life and your outputs like it is a slot machine. Life isn't something that you pump coins into, press a button, and then periodically get a big win. And if you live your life on that basis, you're going to find yourself out of pocket. You may get the occasional win, but then you're just going to be chained to the machine and you're going to pump all your cash back in, trying to get another big win. It doesn't work like that. The evidence speaks for itself. How many people who have won the lottery in life maintained their fortunes for more than 18 months? Or how many people who've won the lottery in life have taken away large amounts of money and then found themselves destitute on the breadline in a relatively short amount of time because they hadn't done the work in the first place to achieve the cash. They played the slot machine, they got a big win, but they didn't have the skill set to maintain. Winning the lottery, or going viral, or getting that next big payout is not the answer to your problems, because if you haven't put in the work first, if you haven't learned to be patient, and you haven't overcome your sense of entitlement, you're just going to be making your problems worse. When I was a child, I would sit in the back seat of the car coming back on holiday in the dark, and I would notice the moon through the window of the car. And I would manage to convince myself that if my dad was to drive faster, we would be able to catch the moon. But of course, no matter how fast he drove, the moon always stayed in the same distance, fixed in the window, away from the car. It stays the same distance, or does it? The truth of the matter was, I was using the wrong tools. If I were able to use a satellite system which was sensitive enough, I would be able to track the progress of the automobile and see the distance from the moon had changed. Very small, I grant you, but with the right tools and the right perspective, you can see progress. And this is where I'm going. When you are gauging your progress by yesterday's techniques or using inadequate tools and lacking that kind of professional focus that is required as you climb up the ladder, when you're bringing the wrong tools to the party, you're not going to be able to see your progress. You're going to see your steady progress as a form of stasis. You are progressing, but you just can't see the progress because you don't have the tools necessary to measure the progress. So have a think about how you can recalibrate and how you can start using tools that provide you with the measurements you need. Do you keep a journal? Do you keep a diary? Do you keep a calendar? Do you track your progress regularly? These are open questions. Do with them what you will. In order to snap out of it, in order to snap out of your sugar-coated entitlement, I would suggest that you list 5 things that you're not entitled to? Have a think about shifting your perspective. What are 5 things that you personally are not entitled to? Next, having faced down that particular monster, remove the big payout fixation. Remove from your lexicon the idea that you deserve some kind of big payout for your efforts. You don't, unless you are able to track a steady, consistent, patient progress. Remember the saying, patient man ride donkey. There may be a big payout at the end of a long journey, but if you haven't developed the tools, if you're not the guy that deserves to have that big payout because of the skills you've developed, the big payout is just going to ruin your life. It will put you back years. Don't peak too early. Recalibrate. Use the right kinds of tools in order to be able to appreciate your progress. Instead of feeling like it should be something better than it is, start thinking about how you can be better than you are. Start to see things with a more professional, detached eye. Learn to recognize progress for what it is. Imagine a race, a marathon race. At the beginning of the race, it's very crowded and everybody sets off with a hiss and a roar. As the race progresses, the crowds start to thin, and by the end of the race, there are only a few people left. Those few people that are left have done the work, shown the patience. They have managed to recalibrate, remeasure, and reappraise what progress looks like. They're not using a fake, false narrative in order to convince themselves that they're entitled to things that they are not. So finally, break the entitlement loop. Stop thinking in an entitled manner. Next, I'd like to discuss with you how hesitancy is itself a kind of decision. And so the next presentation will be the toxic and damaging influence of hesitancy. How, when people decide to hesitate, it can ruin their outputs very badly. So have a look at the next panel, and I'll see you there, fellow seeker. And in the meantime, if I may, I'll leave you with one final thought, which is, whatever it is you dare to do, or dare to dream, begin it now.